The Townstar competition happening on November 3rd, 2025 will feature the jet fuel meta. The craft requirements for jet fuel are 3 petroleum, 2 water drum, and 3 energy. It is crafted in the refinery with a craft time of 1 minute and 30 seconds and stored in the fuel storage. For this competition, jet fuel will give 135,000 stars for each one sold. The trade time for this competition is 60 seconds with a 1 gasoline cost per trade. The starting layout provided for this competition is a forest biome with a river on the south side and an oil seep closer to the west side. That oil seep is very essential for this competition. The only cash boost for this competition is petroleum, getting a 100 times cash boost, so you'll have no issues getting the cash you need because of this. The rewards for this competition are the standard Gala rewards for reaching the top 1200 placement in the leaderboard by the time the competition ends. Rewards are usually distributed directly to your account within 5 days. This is the jet fuel design that I've created for this upcoming competition. I actually designed the majority of this on stream on Friday, but I did end up tweaking it to actually get it to work efficiently, because at first I had a majority of the oil pumps in this section right here, and these were all refineries, but I moved those around because the refineries making jet fuel needed to make 3 trips to the fuel storage to pick up the petroleum, so obviously I would want them closer to the fuel storage because this is the more efficient way to do it. So before you call me a liar here, production monitor has been running for 14 hours. It is showing 893 jet fuel per hour. I tested it before this and it was doing 905 jet fuel per hour. I don't know why it dropped a little bit this time. The crude oil rate is the same as the first test, I think, maybe not. But I will say that this can still be improved a little bit more by placing a road right here and 2 more oil pumps. That way you can bring up the crude oil rate a little bit more, and then it should definitely do 900 jet fuel per hour. So this is with no NFTs required. It's going to be easy to get the cash to build this because you'll get all the cash you need just selling like 200 petroleum, but it's going to be annoying to get all the wood required to build this because when you're almost done building everything, you basically only have this little bit of space to have 3 tree farms. Are going to be on a red craft timer because of all the dirty, so it's going to be very difficult to get the last bit of wood that you need. And the only reason I have the lumberyard and the logger house here is because that's just the dedicated place to get wood and store wood. So that's why this is just a regular dirt road. That road doesn't have to be a paved road, but everything else here is important. So you can definitely get 900 jet fuel per hour with this design, but it is going to take a while to build it for sure because it's just so slow to get the wood that you need in the end. The first thing I would suggest is building up all the power plants and the water pumps. That way you can get the lumber and oak wood requirements out the way. Well, that is after building the refineries that you need for the petroleum, of course, and the freight piers so that you can sell in batches of 100. And then of course the fuel storages, but you get the idea. After you're done with that, then you can build out the rest of the refineries, the forklifts, and the oil pumps. So the main thing that makes this work is the oil seep, which gives us up to 4 passive crude oil, and I'll be able to better explain this in the planner, so I might as well pull it up here. So in the planner, which I'm using the Townstar Playbook Planner for this, but you could also use the Townstar Online Planner for this, you can see the passive crude oil. I'm gonna go back here, passive crude oil right here, and you can see that the majority of these refineries have the 2 passive crude oil that they need to craft petroleum. There are 4 refineries that have 1 passive crude oil, which is still pretty good. That's why I have oil pumps all over the place. And then I added 1 refinery right here that doesn't have any passive crude oil, so that is what's using up the rest of the crude oil, but it still helps to make more petroleum for more jet fuel. Now on my build showcases, I usually do not do subgrid placement because then it would actually be better, and I'm not trying to give you the best design possible, but for this one, really the only only thing holding you down is how much crude oil you can get for the petroleum. So I do believe that this setup that I made here with the subgrid placement, so that these refineries have 1.5 crude oil, so it rounds up to 2 crude oil. That's how it works. It's Gala math. This would probably be the most efficient thing that you can do if you're not using any NFTs and you're just relying on the oil seep. So you're really going to be competing with people that have NFTs that either reduce craft times or increase movement speeds, or they have more haunted NFTs that provide passive crude oil, because of course that would be a big help as well. Then there are the people at the top that have the diamond water pump and the diamond charge station, and that helps them a lot with the passive water drum and energy. And of course you get the idea. But I do think this design is going to be very competitive for the competition, and I'm not really sure how you could make this even better. Apparently there is a way, because Team Storm NFTs did figure out a way to get the rate a little bit higher. I'm not sure exactly what he did, but feel free to mess with it if you want to. I suggest paying attention to the way all the buildings are rotated here. It's very important. They need to be rotated either exactly like this or even better if you can figure it out. But I do have the refineries basically facing the fuel storage, or as close as they can. Sure, you may be able to rotate some of those fuel storages or refineries to make it better, but this is where I ended up at in the end. And I didn't build these last 2 oil pumps because I thought it was still going to make 900 per hour, but the whole purpose of this corner spot here is just to have 3 tree farms in the end with 5 passive water. There's this spot where you could have a builder house, same thing with this spot over here, and of course we are using the 1 freight pier. Last thing I'll say about this is the refinery making gasoline is right here. It's the farthest refinery I could find with 6 passive energy. I do have it rotated facing away from the road just to slow down the gasoline production a little bit, because you will be overproducing gasoline. You're pretty much overproducing everything except crude oil with this one. So you want to put everything on auto sell, of course, as long as the quantity is under 100. That way you can sell it as soon as it gets to 100 with the freight pier. But just in case you're overproducing crude oil, you want to have that on here too. Preferably you're not overproducing crude oil, or else you might run into an issue where your fuel storages will get jammed if you're trying to store like 400 items, because with 8 fuel storages you can store 320 items here, so this will be perfectly okay. But just something you want to be aware of if you're overproducing every single item here for some reason. Okay, back to the planner. Here's what it looks like on the Townstar Playbook planner. Total build cost is about 8.4 million. Wages are not going to be an issue because you can sell the petroleum at a cash boost. There are a total of 77 refineries, 30 making petroleum, 25 of those are fully passive, 46 refineries making jet fuel, and 1 making gasoline. Then there's a total of 14 power plants, and you can see the rest of the stuff on here, of course. The production prediction predicts that this makes about 950 per hour. That's just because it assumes that each fuel storage has like infinite petroleum, because petroleum is getting stored in each fuel storage. But realistically, these 2 fuel storages on the west side are the ones that are storing the majority of the petroleum, and that is the reason why so many refineries making jet fuel are required, because they have to walk a very long distance to get to those 2 fuel storages. So that's why the prediction here is not perfect and why it requires so many refineries. And of course you can find the file for this on the search builds button if you have access to the Townstar Playbook Planner, as it's early access for supporters right now. But I will also be sharing the file for the townstarplanner.online, which you can find on my Discord server. Invite link is in the description. And one more thing I just remembered, the power plants, obviously you want to turn them off. That way you're not wasting any crude oil making energy. I don't even have a warehouse here to store energy anyway, since you don't need it in the end. I hope you found this helpful and informative. If you did, please leave a like, leave a comment, consider subscribing if you haven't done so already, and you can find links in the description on how to support the channel. As always, I appreciate your support and thank you for watching.